you, Jesus.
For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And the last verse says, and let us not be weary in well-doing.
Yeah.
For in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Amen. You may be seated.
Preach out, preach.
If I was to put a title to this message, it would be Greater is Coming.
All right.
And will you say this for me? Will you say this for me, please? Say, I'm not weak, but I'm strong in the Lord. Amen. Have one point. And the point is, we need to turn our sob story into a God story.
All right.
Man, this is Apostle Paul speaking. And as I studied it, it said that he had written a large letter to the Galatians. May not be saying it right, but he was talking to the Galatians. And I believe here when he started in the 4th verse about let every man prove his own work and then shall he be rejoicing. And just 2:5 to add it to it, said for every man should bear his own burden. I believe that Apostle Paul was telling us here that us as Christians, we all have a God responsibility to bear our own burdens.
That's
Amen.
Right, that's right.
And we never know why God is allowing that burden to come upon us.
Yeah.
But as I had you to say that God said that where we are weak, that he will make us strong. And I believe that burdens come to us in order for us to be a witness for God. We have to go through something. We have to bear something in order to be able to witness to somebody else. We have to be able to tell somebody about what we've been through and how God brought us out. Amen. But I find that even myself at times, we don't want to bear our own burdens. Amen. We want to call somebody else. Lay the burden on the church. Lay the burden on the pastor. But Paul says that every man should bear his own burden. My brothers and sisters, we need to turn our sob story into a God story. And I'm going on here since we don't have long. Says in verse 6, it said, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Amen. And I believe that Paul is saying here that for pastors, and not just our pastor, but pastors that are in every doorhouse that is open, that after all the messages that they have given us and after all the messages that they have taught us, that the pastor, that the teacher should sometimes be able to see that we've got the message. They should be able to see that there is some change in our lives. They should be able to see that there is some growth in our lives. We come on Sundays and some come on Wednesdays. And we get fed. But when the pastor is feeding us the word, we have to do just like we do our food. I read how food is on when you have your food, your steak, your potatoes, or whatever it is that you're about to eat, that you have to chew it in small portions. If you don't, you may have a digestive problem. And I find that even us as Christians, when we're being fed the word, we don't take time to chew it. We don't take time to allow it to digest. And that's why the pastors and the teachers don't see change. That's why when he teaches on a Sunday, we call him on the Monday. That's why we call the church on a Tuesday. My lights are cut off. I'm sick. But we got to bear that thing. We got to go through that ourselves. God is setting you up for something great when you're going through something. My brothers and sisters, we need to turn our sob story into a God story. Amen. And go on to verse 7. It says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that he should also reap. Amen. And I believe here Paul is talking to us, and he's talking about not just our offerings, but he's talking about dedication. He's talking about you holding on to a position that you've been assigned to in the church. When it don't go our way, we want to give up on it. We want to let it go. But then when we're going through something, we're calling on God. What a man soweth, that he should also reap. Amen. For he that soweth to the flesh shall reap corruption.
My Lord.
But he that soweth to the Spirit shall reap everlasting life. Amen. When we're sowing in the flesh and we're asked to do something and we're asked to be a part of something, we're in the flesh. So we can't really deal with it the way we need to. That's how it's so easy for us to get upset with somebody. We want to call them on the phone. We want to tell them something. Say, I'm going to set her straight. I got to get her toe. But what does it say here? Sowing in the flesh will reap corruption. My brothers and sisters, we all have a sob story. Somebody died. Somebody been raped. Somebody been molested. But God is allowing that burden to come upon you so you can bear witness to somebody else when they've been raped. When somebody died, you can tell them, I've been there. I've been there. I've done that. I stand before you today. I've been molested. I made it. I've been raped. I made it. Somebody close to me died, but I made it. That's what it's all about. It's not about us, our burdens. They're all about God. And he says, let us not be weary in well-doing. For in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Amen. And that's why I say greater is coming. If you're sowing to God, not just in your seed, but in your job at your church. If you're sowing to God, if you're doing it diligently, he said in due season. That means when it's due to you. Your season may not be Brother Hurt's season. Your season may not be Pastor Fagan's season. Your season may not be Sister Seema's season. But when it's due season for you, you shall reap if you faint not. But I find that we do faint. I find that some of us, we look at other people due season blessings and thinking that they belong to us. But we don't know what these people have gone through in order to receive what God has for them. So we have no right to infringe upon somebody else's blessings. And we make the mistake. We make the mistake. I heard Pastor saying back in the Bible study this morning about being a copy. We go and we copy. We see the Lincoln. We say, I'm going to get me one. But you didn't think it out. You didn't pray. You didn't ask God.
That's right.
You wanted to copy. And then you couldn't pay for it.
Oh, Lord.
That's when we began to faint.
Oh, Lord.
Because you think God told you to get it, but you told yourself to go get it.
Say it.
And then we can't bear it.
Oh, Lord.
We all have to bear our own burdens.
Yes.
We all have to begin to digest the food, the word that we're being fed. We all are going to fall, but we have to get back up. But we all have to begin to allow the pastors and the teachers to see some change and growth in us. My brothers and sisters, turn your sob story into a God story.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know a man.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
He was born of a virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he came into this world, they called him Emmanuel, which said that God is with us. That tells me that God is always with us.
Right.
But I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that Jesus died for you and I. Yes, he did. Before he died, yes, he did. He allowed him, to lift him higher. He allowed him to nail him to the cross. They nailed him in his hands. Then they nailed him in his feet. Yes, he did. And they thought that he would be up there for a while. But he only stayed there for 6 hours. And then he gave up to the ghost. But that's not how the story ended. They took him down. Yes, they did. Took him to a borrowed place. He stayed there. Yes, he did. Stayed there Friday. Stayed there Saturday. But early Sunday morning, he got up. Yes, he did. He got up with all power in heaven and earth in his hand. And now he sits on the right side of the Father with all power in heaven and earth in his hand. My brothers and sisters, greater is coming. Hallelujah.
Yes, Lord.